Howdy, 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 my name's Anashi Sasuke, and welcome back to Let's Read Homestuck. In the last episode, there was a whole lot of conversation between Aradia and Dave. I mean, this is a really small amount of it, but look at all this other conversation that was happening. And all this conversation that was happening. But right now, it's time for John to prepare to leave the castle. But then he got a message. Okay then, I guess I'll get going. Go where? To keep looking for my dad. Are you sure you don't have more important things to worry about? Are you saying that I'm still not supposed to find him yet? John, please, I thought you were done getting the future spoon-fed to you like this. I've told you that you'll find your dad eventually. That should be good enough. Don't you think it's time to start taking your responsibility more seriously? Well, yeah, but what responsibility do you mean? We just concluded that I'm going to go fight Jack, and there's a possibility I will fail. He could kill me easily for all I know, but it's something I have to try. And if I do fail, your plan will serve as backup. There's a lot riding on you, John, on both of us, okay? So you're saying I should go get the tumor now instead of putting it off? I'm not telling you to do anything, just reminding you of what's at stake. Wait, I mean, the tumor. Wait, I mean, the tumor! Why don't we just call it what it is? A big fucking bomb in the core of your battlefield. Yeah, which is what I was wondering about. How am I supposed to get it out? I guess I go find a cave or something? Guess you could probably go looking for a sanctioned entry point. Or you could just do what winners in a hurry do. What? Cheat! Is that even possible? It's practically always possible. I won't tell you how, but I will point out you could start making better use of your powers of facilitating noisy joyrides. Is that what Earth is like, by the way? A bunch of humans flying around in little wheeled pods, constantly beeping at each other with their chauffeur familiars? No. Well, maybe some places, but most cars stay on the ground because science fiction hasn't happened yet. Anyway, I'm just saying it's time to do something useful and impressive with your powers, deliberately for a change. You are a god now, remember? Yes, but all I can do is make a lot of wind blow around. How is that going to help? Use your imagination. That windy thing of yours is more versatile than you think. Okay, or should we? Alright, I will try. Good. I think it's time for me to get going too. I'll prepare for battle. Oh, man. I guess if there's nothing I can say to change your mind, and it's something you really have to do, then I understand. But how about this? What? Can this not be the last time we talk before you go? It would be nice to hear from you at least once before you leave to fight him. Yeah, you got it. I'll message you before I leave. In my future too, none of this messaging me in the past nonsense before I even knew you. Of course. Okay, great. I will hold on to that, Vriska. It will be a certainty. That said, there's no need for any sort of farewell right now. Go do your amazing windy thing, John. Be creative. I'll talk to you later. Okay, I will. Later. Arachnid's grip ceased trolling ecobiologist. John, be creative. That is so creative. Holy shit. Okay, there we go. Imagine blender noises. As a matter of fact, I'm going to linger on this just long enough so I can add blender noises to it. That should be long enough. Oh, there goes the familiar dude. Drill. Battlefield quake. Dun 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 dun. Okay, let's see now. More wine for the lady? This woman sure does seem to like her wine. The gentleman has never met a woman quite so taken with the drink, or one as enchanting and beautiful for that matter. Oops. The fellow has stained the mademoiselle's fine garment. The gaffe is unforgivable, and the only true course of chivalry would be to liberate the damsel from the sodden cloth and launder it immediately. But the lady has no concern for the purity of her finery. She has other things on her mind altogether. The woman has never met a gentleman so strong and considerate and handsome. She cannot tell for certain if her intoxication is due to her seventh glass of wine, or the contours of his proud, powerful nose and the sensual aroma wafting from his pipe. The man and woman are at ease. They have everything because they have each other. They know that together they can make it through anything, whether trouble brings a bit of spilled wine on a chic lab coat, or reduces the very castle beneath their feet to ruins. Ah, shit. Vriska, read Mindfang's journal. That's fancy. On the 14th bilunar perigee of the second dim season's equinox. Fall? Or winter? Probably winter. I don't know what the fuck that means. The orphaner poses a Caligulous riddle like no other I have met. I am presuming him bothered by jealousy, and would be sickening if it were not so marvelously amusing. But then, who but royalty could have the thinned cheek to show disdain for the manner in which his black lover conducts her red conquests? Les has accelerated meeker than I to homicide, and the violation would hold me aghast again if his misgivings did not complement his so endearing arsenal of quaint flaws. It is impossible to stifle this grin even now as I write. He surely understands that, as my maritime overlord, a superior while through gritting fangs he would concede the expanse of my plunder makes his seem hardly worthwhile to trouble a map with good ink over. I know he understands. I will take what I want. I expect nothing less from Dualscar, and truly, less would offend me. Is it the crude blood of the suitors from which I have taken enjoyment recently? If his displeasure is with my blithe treatment of the social order, then he has either not spent enough time in the warm company of my indifference, or is simply very stupid. I saw the look he gave me. He's so secure in knowing I can't feel what's in his mind, he forgets the treacherous ways of his own face. His little looks are words to me, interjections in our deliciously bitter repartee. First a look as I summon a slave from the hold, with such ease between my remarks. Why yes, Dualscar. They were the very slaves in your hold until but this hour. Another ship deployed carelessly, languishing in strategic vulnerability. Is this not our routine, our dance? What does this look, my dear Kismesis? Is it shame? Envy? Contempt for what he knows will follow? I nod her over. She is fearful, and it makes her prettier. He scoffs without a movement or sound. I know there is disgust feeding the shadows in his corner of my block. At least prick her in the light, he surely thinks. Determine what vulgar hue she bleeds before persisting with your abasement marquise. Do try to understand, Orphaner. Not knowing is the point, and if you truly be among our Grand Hybla's most uproarious punchlines. I skipped something, didn't I? And if you truly understand this, your crusade against the Gamblignants would not be among our Grand Hybla's most uproarious punchlines, if only one truly needed to be so high to find it amusing. And so, not knowing, I take her will, but leave enough of it to enjoy her response. Her hands are in my service, but they still shake. They unfasten the first button at my jacket's waist clumsily. I have masked the line between my puppeteering and her volition exquisitely, and her uncertainty over her own control fuels her fear. She unfastens the second button, and between the second and third, I make a casual remark to Dualscar, continuing our conversation. He does not respond. This is awkward. I look again at the face of my slave, imagining for a moment her mind is not an unguarded port to her every dread. I imagine I cannot feel her conviction that it's not merely a matter of whether she will be put to the irons, but how hot they will be if she fails to please. Poor thing. Her horns make attractive shapes and pair themselves pleasantly amidst her violent snarls of hair. Her fingers, which I have lost track of, to my surprise have come between the petticoat and my skin. The heat of her touch tells me the likely range for the color of her blood. I wouldn't have guessed it to look at her, not with her signs stripped. Her mouth opens slightly and I squint. Ah! Razor sharp and none missing. Perfect. How disappointing it is to find quivering lips hiding dull teeth. I pause to consider. What will her fear become if I choose to show her mercy later? And even in days, kindness? Will this be the red dalliance that becomes fully flushed? Love demands my cunning just as my raids. If it is to be, she will never understand how thoroughly she was manipulated, her body, her mind, her devotion. I remember Dualscar again. My distraction from our banter was momentarily absolute, and I inquire into the shadows, but he is gone. Then go, my Kismesis. Fume with the indignation I gave you. I can only pray it blackens our bond. I must know such exhibitions agitate him, and hence why I bother. Otherwise it would be easy to dismiss him before I partook. Let it be a gift of antagonization to you, my dear rival, on which you may brew pitch for me anew. And if it is true envy, a vermilion yearning I can't abide, then though it pains me, it will be farewell. Alas, it may be that I am too good at spurring hate, too good at least for him. I only hope he is not so foolish as to tread a path of less torrid malice, or if he does... On the 16th, my suspicions have been confirmed. I'm not grinning anymore, Dual Scar. Our orderly contention is dissolved right before my vision eightfold. It was once a handsome black, but now sits like a good strong tea sullied and cooled by unwelcome dairy. Thus my heart was broken twice. I was fond of the slave. There was surely promise in her red investment. He had her assassinated. And so I am visited by a bit of bad luck for a change. It's not possible to evade it forever, I suppose. I will simply have to endure the misfortune of observing his base and artless measures of retaliation. He's applied his own resources to increase the bounty on my head. I wonder if he intends such a laughably ineffectual gesture as anything more than a formality, a symbol of his intent. If not, my smile, how it threatens to revisit. Almost. I've broken laws, yes, but what has there been to pay for? If any act I taken should demand a bounty, it was paid up front. I foot the bill myself with guile and supremacy. Honk. Honk! Honk, honk! On the 20th. If only my hoard were as bottomless as his desire to disappoint me. He is set on cowardice, deferring to others to settle his score. Doesn't he remember what he's confided? It would be easy to give the evidence to her imperious condescension, and he would be killed quickly for his unthinkable presumption. He's taken a great risk harboring red ambitions for an empress who will never even know his name. Not that I'll sink to his tactics, but then, he feels safety in knowing this. My sources say he is en route. On the 21st. I've learned Dual Scar has reported to the Grand High Blood all the intelligence he has on me and my fleet. It was information he'd guarded closely to protect our once mutually cherished rivalry. He wouldn't let it fall into the wrong hands, lest another besiege me more effectively and cause me to wax for the usurper. Not that he'd raise that mass particularly high himself. Ah, the shortcomings I managed to overlook for the sake of a lover. I would have enjoyed witnessing the entertainment he prepared to please the High Blood. His sense of humor was dreadful. It would have been a true miracle if he survived the appointment. Funny. I always imagined a grander entry in my journal for your demise, Dual Scar. But I should have realized you would die as you lived. A joke. One more humorous little sacrifice kindly given to the subjugulators, and one step closer to the release of the vast honk they prophesize. I'm overjoyed to understand now this was always your destiny. Honk honk! 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 Motherfucking honk, motherfuckers! Okay, so he actually is just saying honk. It's been nearly a week since Dual Scar's fitting end, and I'd all but forgotten the matter. It seems the subjugulators were not particularly inspired by his revelations about my affairs. Sources tell me their response was to commission one of the court's neophyte legislators to conduct the investigation and bring me to justice. Neophyte Redglare is reported to be quite talented. I find no reason to doubt this. Still, how can I be caused any unrest to learn their recourse is to send a lone, inexperienced bureaucrat to apprehend me? I cannot view this as anything other than full concession by the High Bloods. They now only seek to maintain the appearance of pursuing me. Maybe they find my exploits amusing? I couldn't possibly disagree. Those rare moments when my superiors show wisdom come perilously close to restoring my faith in the social order. As for Redglare, it would surprise me if I ever heard her name again. If she finds me, then I welcome her challenge. But I am so confident she will play no relevant role in my future, I won't even bother peering into my oracle to satisfy my curiosity. Flash time, 3-time showdown combo. Moving on. It's a kanaya. Pap, 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 pap. Oh man, I forgot about that. Honk! Oh! That sucker punch. One of her pupils is misplaced from that sucker punch. Doof. Nab. Debunk! Ah, my science! My chainsaw! My torso! My life! Shades descend. A moment of silence for the single hottest panel in this whole fucking comic. Okay. Vriska agrees. Now it's time to be Jack. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. But yeah, that's 8. Be Jack Noir. You are now Jack Noir. You have just murdered an innocent family. What will you do? Accessorize immediately. You begin claiming trophies to celebrate your magnificent triumph over the defenseless loving couple. The man's hat suits you perfectly. It is plain and serviceable. Yes, that looks so good. The only way the look could possibly be improved is if it was blacker or bloodier. Take a prize from the lady. This beautiful scarf will look quite dramatic as you soar through the air, scouring the surface for new victims. It is finely crafted and the fabric is wonderfully soft. Your powerful nose detects perfume. The odor is pleasant. Wait, this pipe is great too! It makes you look dignified and thoughtful. Yes, this will be your trophy as well. Jack Trophy Binge. Yes! Yes! All of the glorious trophies will belong to you. There is no possession of the fallen so trivial that would not make a splendid adornment to your intimidating visage. Wait, no. This is in fact so very, very stupid. Stomp, 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 stomp. This is no way for a killer of your elite profile to dress. Your rise to omnipotence has had a regrettable influence on your vanity, it seems. Have you forgotten the original grievance with frivolous attire that got you here? That's it. No more trophies. You are swearing off trophies forever. Probably. Okay. You will keep one trophy, but only one. You can never stay mad at Cal. He is a true friend, the only you have ever known. God, you are so bored. Sniff out new prey. It used to be that when you were bored with paperwork, you would go distract yourself by sharpening one of your favorite knives, or give your most disapproving scowl through a finishing the wall to survey the kingdom. But those were simpler times. There's only one cure for boredom befitting a demigod, and that is more senseless killing. You consult your proud, long snout for assistance with the hunt. You pick up the maddening scent of one of the young graveyard stuffers. You're sure it is the same one you slaughtered earlier, and yet his stench remains, confounding you from every direction. It is as if the breeze carries it deliberately. It is as if the breeze which carries it deliberately seeks to obfuscate the odor's origin. Your thoughts become more murderous with each blustery taunt. Succumb to unfathomable bloodlust. You are consumed by murderous thoughts and you prepare to embark on a killing spree to end all of. For fuck's sake, you start thinking about dog things again. Why do bones have to be so delicious and enticing? Suppress thoughts of unfathomable sausages. You successfully suppress all thoughts of delicious little wrapped waiters and infuriating things like mail and its agents of delivery. But in the process, you awaken your deepest and darkest feelings of all. Feelings of loyalty? How completely despicable. But no, that is not quite all there is. Could it also be love? It must be. It is the only emotion that could possibly make you feel so utterly disgusted with yourself. And it is surely why you couldn't go through with it. You could not do it. You could not kill the girl. Contact DD. You get the draconian dignitary on the line. He asks what the hell you've been up to. You say it doesn't matter. You have a point of serious business to discuss with him. He makes sure you're remembering to keep the destructive impulses to a minimum. No more planet exploding or anything like that. You say, yeah. He says no point in securing power when there's nothing left to rule. You say, God, it's not the point. Lousy, stupid dignitary, all keeping your murderous tendencies in check. He's the most terrible guy you almost kind of didn't despise completely. DD, listen to SS? Wop, 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 wop. You attempt to humor the Sovereign Slayer's demands diplomatically. There's a narrow line to walk between obeying the orders of a clear superior and blindly facilitating a perfectly useless genocide. It takes a very savvy breed of psychopath to pull it off. The Slayer is yapping about some girl, probably one of the young players who can no longer provide any serious threat to your rule. But he wants you to go kill her anyway. You ask why he doesn't go kill her himself. He says it's complicated. This guy, you swear. You tell him you're busy with things that actually matter, like running this kingdom on his behalf and all, levying taxes, oppressing consorts, and all the unpleasant chores he would never dirty his snout with. He says this is more important than any of that stuff. You say, fine, just send the droll after her. There's a moment of radio silence. He says, you mean the courtyard droll? He wants to be sure this is the same droll you're talking about. You say, yeah, what's the problem? He says, you mean the very same droll who couldn't manage the one simple task assigned to him, to steal the White Queen's ring from the very same adoring, wonderful girl and master and friend in question? Wait, he says he just means girl. Just girl. You didn't hear any of that. You don't say anything. He says, fine, you win, stick the stupid droll on her. What does he care? Contact CD. You hit up the droll. The Slayer was right. This guy's clearly incompetent. Still, the only real objective here is to get him to stop breathing down your neck with his awful dog breath. Looks like the droll's on the battlefield. He says he's still looking for the Queen's ring. He says he made a new friend to help him with his search, but it is terribly breezy on this planet, and his new friend keeps blowing around, making the search more difficult. He says thank goodness he's not wearing one of his finer hats. It would be just dreadful trying to keep it on his head in such weather. You say you don't care about any of that stuff and tell him to shut up. Listen to DD. The dignitary is one of your superiors who makes you nervous. The list of superiors who makes you nervous in fact includes all your superiors. It includes many of your inferiors as well. He tells you to forget the ring. You failed your mission, and you're never going to find it. There's a new mission. You say, oh? He says, yeah. And let go of the goddamn rabbit. You say, okay, but don't actually let go. You say you will be happy to begin the new mission very soon. But first there is this pretty blue tornado ahead you were meaning to investigate. Perhaps other locals it has attracted will know something about the ring. He says, for the love of God, will you forget about the tornado and the ring? You don't say anything. You look longingly at the tornado again. He says, fine. If you really must examine a meaningless and extraordinarily dangerous exhibit of meteorological phenomena, go ahead. But be ready to embark on the mission not a moment later. You say alright and wonder what you should do to prepare. He asks if you have a good winter hat. You nearly drop the radio in excitement. Jack, wait. Is he sitting in Indian style? There. Now that those wheels are in motion, you guess you can put your mind at ease for a while. You find nothing quite so troubling as the intrusion of a positive emotion. You are momentarily afforded the peace of mind to resume a dull, quiet life of semi-restrained murder. Maybe you will wait here and see if the boy shows up. It's reasonable to assume he will seek these adults. Certainly easier to let him come to you than follow an untraceable scent. Or maybe you will take a look inside this castle. Perhaps there are survivors here fit for the offing. You guess that could serve some amusement. You wonder if it will always be like this. What sort of future does a new god have to look forward to? Will this malaise follow you for eternity? Will you be perpetually tempted to destroy everything you see, knowing that in just a few moments of recklessness you will be left with nothing else to destroy forever? What will eternity feel like when a single moment of boredom feels like an eternity unto itself? You wish you could consult the clouds for answers, but they never show you anything. The reckoning can't wipe this place out soon enough. Okay, I'm going to stop this episode here because I'm pretty sure the next page is a walk-around bit. So, this has been, I believe, episode 59. And in the next episode, some shit's gonna go down. I mean, some shit was already going down, and some of it was really, really hot. But this is gonna be shit's gonna go down. Trust me. Trust me on this. Shit's gonna go down. Anyway, this has been Anashi Sasuke. Thank you guys for sticking around for this episode of Let's Read Homestuck, and I will see y'all next time. Later.